Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Big Mac Shepherd, and I forgot I was first for a second. and I play Braxon Miacc, who's the captain.
Hi, I'm Dagami-sama, and I play Solas of Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Oggama.
Hello everyone, I'm Sail and Mortar. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elf and wild mage.
Hey there, I'm Zach, and I play the character of Lafdul Moonglade, a specialty priest thief multiclass from Realmspace. He comes up with fun little titles, and his current title is the Fortune Strider of Farcical Fancies. I almost failed that one. I will type it. There you go. Where's Twitch?
Oh, I thought you said vertical, and I was like, I'm not figuring how this works. Alright, we left off last time. The party has been lost in Wildspace somewhere. They're in a strange sphere that apparently has not heard of Brawl. So you guys are going to have some fun times trying to find your way home. You opted to spend some time just kind of like holding in place where you are to regain spells and things of that nature. So I think that you spent one day so that you could get your the priests could get their contact home powers back, and then the second day to get everything else, correct?
Yeah, that seems to be the running gist of it.
Okay.
Like they get all the other low-level spells, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
They
first
got
and
first
second.
and second out.
Yeah.
I got all my temporary healing potions, and I had some cure lights to heal people. Well.
Okay.
So there was something that Lafdul forgot about, is that he had Sacred Garden on Pelennor, and his hopeless situation on the base assault and anything else that may have happened when we were attacked by the ship and then took up by the Cosmic Storm.
Correct.
I was wondering, if obviously something had happened.
Right. So, with these days of rest, you would have basically the remainder of this day on that duration?
It had 6 days duration when we assaulted the base.
Oh, okay. So you got like 3 days left. Okay. So far, you have not had any indication of danger from him or to him.
I would have relayed that back to the party, so it must have been during the breakfast meeting or something that they weren't attacked. It was just us.
That's good.
Or it doesn't work where you are. That's a possibility you can't discount.
Oh, it says regardless of interplanar, it can work in other spheres. Well, unless we're in a special sphere.
And you might be. There's always that possibility.
Oh,
Who knows this?
I mean, you can make the assumption that you want. I'm just making it clear that you can't be completely sure.
I mean, Lafdul, we can't be sure if this sphere behind this rock wall and before the crystal sphere itself, there might be multiple kilometers thick lead barrier.
That's something I didn't think of. No, but it doesn't. This particular spell. Well, isn't that particular spells that don't work through thickness of metal? Like, I know my telepathy, and it's not all spells.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is that you can say that it should still alert you, but should being the operative word.
Are we playing after the time of troubles, Ald?
Yes.
Would Braxon know about Realmspace being sealed?
Yeah, but not. It didn't actually happen for very long, so
yeah.
It wouldn't have made a huge impact on you and Brawl, but you probably would have heard something about it.
I would have would I have been alive during that? 'Cause I can't remember
Oh, yeah.
when our
Yeah.
timeline
Yeah, that was
takes place.
that was about 10 years ago,
Oh,
give or take.
Old.
Mhm.
Didn't you last time say it would take two days to basically repair every crew member's injuries
I took 2 repair injury spells. I
with those
didn't buy
repair
anything
injury
else.
spells?
Yeah, if you guys take nothing but repair injury spells,
Oh. No, I'm definitely
It's-
not taking bow.
It's a third level spell, so we couldn't get it on the first day anyway.
Yeah, I've only taken 2. I'm not dedicating my entire.
then
Not
it
when
would
we
probably
got
be another day. I mean, within a week, if you guys are take like 2 each, or 1 to 2 each every day kind of thing, then yeah,
Unless you want to focus on that.
I'll say that you guys would get them taken care of within a week.
Yeah, because, well, the reason why I mention that is because aren't you doing more glyphs of warding or not? Because that's a third level spell. And if you're putting a spell into it, you also need to memorize that, I think.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No.
You don't?
No. No, you just have to be able to cast it.
Yeah.
And you need to, like, you have to be high enough level. You may need to do some extra spell components with it. Like if a spell requires a 100 gold piece ruby or something like that, and you wanted to put that into a glyph of warding, then you'd need to use that 100 gold piece ruby too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, question.
Mhm.
Can a glyph of warding cast priest lock to cast a new random priest lock?
No, I don't think so. It's
No, I
like
thought that was a clever way around getting past the
no,
someone not
it's
to open them.
glyph of warding should only be spells that can affect a creature.
No.
You know, and you know, if you have some questions on what that, you know, what kind of things that can be, you know, it something like an area of effect thing might work too. But in general, and the lower level it is, the more likely I'm going to allow it. So, like, I would not have a glyph of warding allow you to create a blade barrier.
That would require some more potent spell.
How about invisibility purge, Old?
I think I would let that work. Yeah.
Yeah, you said earlier on the weekend when I asked that you would allow it.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember what I said. I remembered it being asked.
I asked about invisibility purge and dispel magic, and you said that dispel magic also would work, but it would be the untarget kind.
Yeah, it would affect an area.
Yeah. So we have ways to try and deal with those invisible things on our ship with that.
Now, keep in mind that you can't set up a glyph of warding to trigger on an invisible creature.
Mm-hmm. But you can set it to trigger on if they are hostile or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is that invisibility is going to foil some glyphs of warding.
Were we not suspecting that this was the orc?
I don't know what you guys are suspecting.
The invisible person occurred the same time we had the orc appear, didn't we? Didn't they?
No.
No? Oh no, we had the invisible person from before.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
But we could go through the ship with detect invisibility.
You could.
So this could be the person that tricked that that person off that ship into giving out some details. Spying on people. we haven't accounted for them.
You mean the person from Lafdul's memory read?
Yeah.
That was the Aurak, wasn't it?
Yeah. I told you guys that you could have concluded.
Sorry, that was a bit loud.
It was. I said that you guys could have concluded that that was the Draconian.
Ah, right. Okay. Thanks.
Right.
And there's only one Draconian.
Well, there were
there's
6,
several.
but there was only one that had. I mean, you killed all 6 of them. You don't know of any others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't even heard of Draconians before this last fight.
You would have heard some stories about them from the Octave Arcane, Aelia, but you'd never really encountered them, and those stories didn't really give you enough information other than, these are a big bad enemy, made up the bulk of the armies in the War of the Lands, blah, 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 that kind of thing. You didn't really learn about powers and stuff like that. Alright, so did you guys want to continue to wait here, or did you want to head towards the port that you were told about? Because I know there was some talk about
Well,
doing that before moving on.
I wanted to bring in a conversation, so to speak. Obviously, it would include all the helmsmen that are awake. Which helmsmen are awake?
You can do it at a point when when they're between at near shift changeover where everyone's awake.
Yeah, so that will start the conversation. So what are we gonna do with Red Newt? Because we're in a hostile sphere. I know people are getting a little bit antsy around him. I noticed. I don't have any magic that could put him under an influence that could make him, I don't know, give up his ways, I suppose.
Well, we've lost the ability to hand them over to the elves from what didn't you say you couldn't detect any elven gods here?
No, I don't think any of our gods have access to it here. This is a hostile sphere to us.
Unknown sphere.
Does anyone have any spell to detect any sort of gods that might be at all
Oh yeah, I
an
used
indication of
mine.
anyone friendly?
I didn't have anyone friendly to either this Saradine,
Seldarin.
all the silly court for me.
Right.
There is so many human pantheons that have friendly gods that we do not have access that could be here, but we would not know.
You didn't even try though, didn't you?
No, since I very much doubt there are Celtics here.
You don't know. It's an unknown
Well,
sphere.
I mean, we might be forced to deal with Red Newt if we don't have any way to get rid of him. We've lost 3 crew, and we're going to have to build a prison to hold him.
Well, speaking of, I took the Shapewood spell, so I'll be able to assist with your repairs a little bit. Similar
That's
to
good.
what Solas does.
That's good.
Well, it's either that or I do the brig today.
Yeah. Do any of you have any sort of spells that could find anyone friendly? I mean, we're not.
Find anyone friendly?
Yeah, well, I don't think this port's going to be too friendly, is it, from what we've picked up so far?
No, but the best we can hope for is a neutral port.
Yeah.
You know, like Brawl, in the sense, it is neutral. I wouldn't say it's a good place.
Yeah, well, if we don't find anyone to hand these pirates onto, we're going to be stuck with them for months. Or we'll have to do something about them ourselves. Not that I'd be looking forward to that.
Well, we can either abandon them, execute them, or magically alter them. I do not have the magic to magically alter them permanently.
Right. Does anyone else have anything like that?
Don't have any magics that can be used to alter them, but we can always cast more protective spells that would prevent them from escaping.
Yeah, but that delays the problem rather than dealing with it. Do you have anything to deal with it?
There are spells that do that, but I do not have access to them. Like, for example, I suppose it's like a spell that I would eventually get access to next level, but I'm just theory crafting here. I'm putting that on like an open discussion. Lafdul, like, this type of magic would force someone to act in a certain way or obey the restrictions I set out. I mean, there are spells like that that do exist. I just don't have access to them. Obviously, I think Leva had a weak version of that with your lesser gears.
I'm sorry.
Once-
Oh, Lesser Gears. Yes, she has that.
I suppose Lafdul asks the helmsman at this point, I suppose, if they want to chip up about anything.
Yeah, since you brought up that spell that Sun Fayun has access to, he would mention it at that point that he might be able to do something that would broadly force him to give up certain actions, maybe even perform some sort of restitution, but it's not going to change his personality, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't expect someone to just entirely swap who they are,
No.
but that might be a compromise, I guess. I mean, does it ever wear off? I asked them. Fine.
It does not wear out per se, but he could get it removed
Bye.
by a powerful priest.
Just someone more powerful than you.
Certainly with someone more powerful than me, yes.
Would it
So we
have
know.
to be within your religion, or can it be anyone's religion? Because those kind of magics tend to work within your religion, I'd assume. I don't know, actually.
In this case, anyone's faith would work.
Oh. Hmm.
So
Mm.
last things about that, it's basically dispel magic that would get rid of it.
Yeah, Lafdul's thinking, well, dispel magic, or you're not thinking of like an atonement or something.
Yes, it would be an atonement. That would eliminate the requirement that he follow my stricture.
Wait, so Sard, the priest that's with him, could atone him?
Well, if he is
Effectively.
powerful enough, I don't know what his capabilities are.
I know he can use the same magic as me, and I'm pretty close to getting atonement. That level of magic. So it wouldn't behoove me to...
In general, you would not say something like that. You would just you don't specifically
How
know
do
when
you-
you have access to it. Like
The concepts, the idea, the
no, I mean
principle,
like
the teaching.
so you know about the spell. You know that maybe at some point, if you become powerful, you will get access to it. You wouldn't be able to say, "I'm close to it." You would just intuitively know when you can get access to it.
Alright.
Lafdul, my friend, atonement is such powerful magic that it requires quite a lot of holy vestiges. And we have taken his holy vestige away.
I mean, depending on your faith, they're either easy or hard to come by.
It's not just your holy symbol. It would require incense and such. It's a very powerful magic and requires very dedicated ritual.
And whatever we do, we have to separate them. can't let them go off together. They'd be like, leave one here, then leave another one on another planet or somewhere, But
I would not rather leave them.
well, I'm just.
Since they have sensitive information that our elven friends would not want to be told to anyone.
That's true. We might be forced.
You don't know which of them knows what, though.
No, that's
Yes,
true.
But
Not yet.
it's a risk that we don't have luxury of taking, I'd say.
Does anyone have any magic that can wipe their minds?
I do know that such spells exist, but don't have access to them yet. Those kinds of spells are very powerful magics.
So that might leave us with the only options of keeping them or executing them.
And also, spells like that wipe someone's mind could still be restored.
Yeah, but they would need to find someone, pay them a huge favor.
So we do know that
someone of high power finds them and restores their minds for their own
Or
purposes.
ask Loki, his faith.
Mm-hmm.
He might just grant it.
I think we do know that there are humans in this crystal sphere. You're saying you didn't think that the Celtic pantheon was here. I mean, perhaps you could try.
You should try.
Maybe there is a way to find out if any other human religions are here.
Wait, doesn't
try.
it? I'm trying to remember how powers works now. I think you get in.
Detect powers will tell you if there is either
hostile.
Your pantheon or close enough allies to your deity to grant you spells.
Right.
So it's basically those two. It's either yes, your deity is here. Yes, allies of your deity who can grant you spells in their in lieu of them, or no, there's no one of those there because it's specific to you, not to. It doesn't just flood your mind with a list of deities that are worshipped in a sphere.
And it isn't enough that there's a, let's say, cleric of wisdom and knowledge that is similarly aligned as Ogma, but he would also have to have knowledge of Ogma and such relationships with Ogma that he would agree to allow me to use his spells.
Correct.
So, if the god of this sphere has never heard of Ogma, even if he was of correct alignment and such, he would not grant me any spells.
But in such a case, if you sought out a priest of that deity, like if you encountered a priest of that deity, then they could beseech to their deity on your behalf.
Yeah, but the detect powers would not tell me if that kind of deity was here.
Correct.
So it's very limited what detect powers would tell me.
Well,
but I can try.
Didn't someone
expect much out of it?
Didn't someone have a spell for reading the lay of the land off of local people?
Yeah, I have access to that magic, and I believe Finn or something was that spell.
Would that?
I've already taken it.
If you could find some humans, would that let you know what sort of deities are worshipped?
No. Only if it was something like, I give honor to Ogma and greet you, and that was like the thing that you have to say every time you meet someone, or they're like, oh my god, they're so rude, kind of thing, That's what it would do, but it wouldn't tell you that they worship someone unless it is part of a custom that they perform.
Basically, we have to gather this information the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, so specifically, like, no customs doesn't tell you about laws specifically. It tells you about things to keep you from doing social faux pas, like, you know, if you're expected to take your shoes off when you go into someone's house. That's what it tells you. If shaking with your left hand or your right hand is considered, dishonorable or insulting, it will let you know that. You know, if you're supposed to bow rather than shake, it lets you know that. That's the kind of thing that it lets you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose for some amount of time we can put up with the additional risk, but we will have to deal with it if we can't find a way out. And
If you can come up with the concept with Solas, I mean, once we're done with spell memorization, we're going to be doing this for the mass majority. Is this the evening or the morning?
This is a shift switchover.
So this is after spell memorization, like towards the end of a shift.
It would be.
Because I would have been out for like most of the day on the start of the second day, so I don't know when.
Yeah, so it would be at the end of your shift, and when shortly after the other shift has woken up, probably before they've started memorizing spells. Now,
So I've got
that said, officers have a lot of leeway on dealing with shifts. If you just need to get back, get all your spells back, you can not do shifts for the officers or for the spellcasting officers, and then get into it when you want. Hey, James.
Hey, I'm here. What I miss?
Just discussions on spell selection, and there's currently kind of a discussion about handling Njord.
Okay. Well, obviously, since he surrendered and everything, we are honored bound to make sure that he's taken to justice. Probably to the first good line organization that'll allow us to do it, like the company the Chalice or the Elven Navy or whichever one that we find that'll help us with this.
well, we're pretty sure the Elven Navy aren't in the sphere.
yeah, if their deity isn't in here, no.
We don't know about the others. Do you have any magic that will be able to tell us if any agents of your deity are in the sphere?
There's one potential option that we might be able to take. That would at least make it so that the pirates would not cause that much trouble. We do have Polymorph Otter in our spellbooks, but me or Leva would have to study it.
Is that permanent?
It is
Yeah, it
permanent
can also
until
kill
dispelled.
them.
Sorry, what did you say, Lafdul?
It could kill them.
It could kill them.
If they don't survive the transformation, it would permanently warp them into an animal eventually. Well, I've heard stories. I don't actually know.
Well, that would solve the problem.
I mean, wouldn't be killing them, I suppose. Hey, Finn, you're a nature person. What do you think?
Wait, you want to turn them into like shrews or something?
I mean,
we could turn them into some animals that would not have the capability of escaping.
and eventually they would become that animal.
Want to turn them into snails?
Doesn't that have the possibility of killing them?
A slight.
Slight. You seem awfully sharing, like you won't kill them.
I mean, it's
It's a system shock roll.
yeah,
Yeah, but
And how easy is it to turn them back?
it's just dispel magic.
yeah, but don't.
That depends.
It's dispel magic, and if the person who turned them use the polymorph author spell dispels, it's pretty much guaranteed success.
You explain like the full what the spell does, because I mean you're only saying so much of it, and I don't want to infer if you haven't said anything about it. Would you explain the spell?
Yeah, I explained what
All the
Solas knows
risks, everything.
Yeah.
All right. So
No, you didn't.
Lafdul,
It's not all the risks, I'm afraid.
Solas really.
He's paraphrasing.
Yes, I'm not
Yes,
speaking.
okay.
I'm Solas explaining the risks that there is a slight chance of them dying and such, but I doubt Solas would explain the rules as they are written.
It could also be that they get turned back and still think they are whatever animal
That's what I was gonna
they were
mention.
turned in. That's not and such. That is quite dramatic.
That's
Well,
quite
you don't want
horrifying.
to have Red Njord with you who thinks he's I don't know, a deer.
Rabbit.
Yeah, whatever. So
Well-
and such is I think is
Hang on. So there's a possibility that if we turn Red Njord into, say, a rabbit and then back, he might think he was a rabbit.
still
The
yes.
longer
Well,
he's under that
then-
influence.
He wouldn't be a risk to anyone, would he?
No,
Yeah, but isn't that how would that cross your faith, Ockar, so to speak?
Turning them
Would
into
you-
animals?
Yeah, no, I mean because he surrendered. What did he specifically surrender to? Because wouldn't you be breaking your word? I mean, justice was done in a manner of speaking, but not specifically.
I think he basically surrendered so that he would not be killed or like harmed, right?
I think the wording was to deliver unharmed to the court, or something like that.
I think the wording was kill, if I remember correctly. And I probably should have written it down clearly.
I think it was killed.
Yeah, I think he surrendered on the with Ockar's promise that he not be killed.
Which
If he succumbed to a system shock, would that be breaking the promise?
it would be.
Yeah, he died before.
If this spell ends up killing him, that would break my word, and that could lead to huge trouble for me.
If
I don't think
Ockar,
it would be like a
if Ockar
major-
if Ockar believes that would be violating his word, then that's what he believes.
And
Yeah.
if Ockar informs that Solas withdraws the idea.
Yeah,
Old?
that's the problem.
Yes, Leva.
If let's say he'd survived the polymorph order and the return, but he would think, let's say he's a rabbit and he still thinks he's a rabbit afterwards, would that be equivalent to actually killing Red Njord?
You're mentally killing him.
Because he's not there anymore. The person he was before is gone.
Ockar, what do you think? How do you think that would fit into your promise?
I mean,
Is being brain dead effectively?
yeah,
worse
but-
Well,
right.
he wouldn't be brain dead.
Animals
The
have personalities.
concept of being
Animals have
not
personalities.
aware of who you once were.
I'd say
That could be just
basically-
as destructive as being dead.
I'd say unless there is a viable way of fixing it, he would be basically dead,
So
Well,
there's
there
your
is,
answer.
Someone needs.
and that would still break my word.
There's your answer.
Solas accepts Okkar's reasoning.
So I mean, keep in mind, sometimes these things are going to be up to you guys role playing. So, if Ockar feels that it would be breaking his word, then that's what you're going with.
And Solas accepts Okkar's reasoning and is willing to basically support it, since he is the one who Red Njord surrendered to.
Well, neither of the other two made any such request of anyone.
True.
Yeah,
That
but
is
Solas
true.
Would, true, but Solas would still extend the same.
One doesn't surrender just to die later.
Yeah.
No, but
It's
you see, if we
not a good thing.
And real fast, Silithia surrendered. Sard did not. Sard was captured.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
But Solas would still extend the same requirements to those two.
Well,
Well,
the requirements
maybe-
for me only extend to those who actively surrendered.
well,
Sard, I'm not nearly as lenient towards.
my major concern is keeping the crew from harm.
Well, here's the thing. Out of the three, two of them are spellcasters with no way to cast spells or prepare spells. Since one, we stole one of their spell books, and two, we stole their holy symbol, so they can't use their magic or prepare their magic.
Or have any spell ingredients and are tied and gagged, except when they are eating or
Any
being...
spells that they did have, they can still use if it doesn't require that holy symbol.
Yeah.
But it would still possibly require material components,
Actually,
or
Old.
even somatic components.
So yeah. So spells, there's no spell that doesn't require any components. They either require
At least a verbal.
verbal, somatic. There are some that just require somatic,
Yeah, some that just require verbal.
and some that just require verbal. Yeah.
And,
But if they
and
are tied and
even-
gagged, they can't use those spells.
yeah,
Not
and
easily.
even with Njord, he doesn't have any access to weapons or armor or anything.
He had a spell scroll on him. He might be like me, in that he can use scrolls.
Yes, but we've taken all of their gear away.
True.
And
We haven't left them with magic items.
Oh
and
no,
scrolls.
of course not. You know,
And-
that would be silly.
and if we keep an eye on him, I doubt he's going to pull anything.
Hailed. This is an internal question. I'm not saying this out loud, but how long would I have access to my grand powers if I lost my holy symbol?
You don't lose access to those powers unless you lose your standing with your deity.
But if I were, alright, so after a certain point, if I don't reacquire a holy symbol, I would lose my standing, so to speak. That would be my case, my personal thing.
Yes, specifically because you need. Well,
If I
not
do not
even
attempt
that.
to
I
get...
mean, again, if you are prevented from getting something, then you're prevented from getting something. That's just going to limit your ability to
it's
memorize
not a
and cast
forfeit.
spells. It's not going to be something that prevents you from regaining your granted powers. You have to stop being a priest of that deity, essentially.
No.
You need to fall out of favor.
As long
Alright,
as we
then.
do, as long as we do like periodic searches for like improvised weapons or something, I don't see them being a threat overall.
And if the door and
speaking of that,
hallway of the area we are keeping them are warded, it also makes it very hard for anyone to sneak in or sneak out.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
also the fact that if we want to go into ports, we might need to have an inspection.
We don't have to take whole ship down. We can all we
the
can
little ship.
transfer. Yeah, we can take the little ship and transfer them to the blade.
That's
we
true,
can
but
put
if
the helm on there, can't we? The invisibility helm. Oh, that also is a compromise if they get hold of that helm.
that is true that we could take either of the little ships, but if we get stopped by legal authorities in this sphere, they may well have a right to come aboard and inspect our ship.
Do we obey the local sphere law if we suspect the sphere is hostile to us?
If we suspect they're hostile, it's a case of we comply or we fight,
We'll
Can
just have
always
to,
just
or
escape.
we run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have to see when it comes down to it.
Yeah, but what
Oh,
I'm saying is, if we found some sort of animal that was non-threatening and we changed these into animals, And if they
Ockar
forget
already,
things,
Ockar
they can.
already ruled that it would go against his faith.
Ockar said it would go against his oath for his cousin. He said nothing about the other two.
Well,
We could get rid of
technically-
2/3 of the problem at the very least.
technically, the female wizard also surrendered, so my oath would go on to that too, since I don't believe in killing those who surrendered. But Sard, I don't have the same thing.
Turning him into an animal, and they have another life. That's not killing them.
It is killing them. It kills
it's
their
not.
personality.
Oh no, their soul will go on to the next life.
They won't be the same
What,
person.
death?
They're effectively dead.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say I would agree with Ockar. If you're not mentally there, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were
No
talking
matter
about
how you word it, if you need to be, your sense of identity is how you define yourself as being alive.
Especially if it's not easily fixable.
I do. Ockar, Leva turns around to you and says, you know, you did give your oath to Red Njord, but you didn't give any oath whatsoever to the sorceress. She's just a byproduct of, in some ways, being too cowardly. She was frightened that she'd be killed, and therefore she surrendered. But you didn't give any oath to her whatsoever.
I know,
So
it's just...
don't just. I see no reason why she should be covered by your oath to one other person in the group.
Even
It's
so,
less oathbound in that case. It's less oathbound in that case than me feeling uncomfortable about killing a surrendered prisoner.
if
But I
If
technically
someone-
am not oathbound on her, I guess.
if someone surrenders, it's quite at least in Solas' minds, evil act to kill them without them being held in a proper court of justice.
I'm
Leva
kind of in
didn't-
the same position.
Leva
Yeah,
didn't
so is
say a word
Lafdul.
about killing them. She just said that they are not covered by the oath. Either one of those two, because
But,
for one thing, they didn't know about the oath, and you're just throwing them into the same basket. That's not the same.
Well, hang on.
But
It's
surrendered enemies still need to be treated a certain way.
And
Hang on.
you were the one who came up with the spell, just to remind you.
Yeah, and I withdraw it once Ockar objected to it.
Hang on. They've all murdered loads of people. They're all wanted dead or alive, and they've all admitted that they weren't coerced. You can verify with magic. You can verify with magic to see if any of them were acting against their will. If any of them had a magical curse put on them, and they were acting against their will, we get the curse taken off them, and they can go free because it's not their fault. Turning them into something like a squirrel is not the same as killing them.
It
They
is
will
if
still,
their
be alive.
It is
No.
killing them if their mentality is forever changed to that of a squirrel.
This is a philosophy question, but that would be put down to a vote. That could never go through without a majority. And I do believe the majority is against that, easily.
At the very
You're-
least, it sounds split because you got three at least who would be against it. So at best, you'd have 3 for it.
And even though it was my idea, like I said earlier, since Ockar strongly objected it and gave good reasons to Solas' opinion why he objects it, Solas agrees with Ockar.
Yeah, you've been convinced by his argument.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm more of a mind to throw them into nature and let nature decide what to do with them.
They have. But what if they get away and then they start pirating again? Is that justice? Because I mean, yeah, we dealt with them. I suppose we can't be held responsible for every action they do, but in a sense we are, because currently we are in a position to stop them permanently. If we put them on a rock, they get away, They start up again. They kill, just say, for argument's sake, they kill 100 people. That's going to eat up my conscience. I don't know about you guys.
I'm
Yeah.
on the same boat.
Mhm.
If
Well,
I
this is
ever
why-
learnt about that,
Yeah.
Well, this is why I said our responsibilities to our crew. I mean, we already had someone attack us with that storm, and 3 of our crew died.
I
You
feel
So
like
let's vote on
I
it.
feel
Let's
like
vote on it. Let's
I-
vote on it.
I feel
Really?
like
I
our
don't know if we can
responsibility
vote.
here.
Let Ockar speak.
I feel like our responsibility to our crew and to the greater world is to keep these people under guard and taken to the proper authorities so that they cannot do this again.
Yeah, Solas
We-
agrees.
We should show honor behind our actions so our crew knows that we are good people and that we aren't just gonna randomly murder people, even if it seems like justice at the time.
Yeah, we need to be consistent in how to treat prisoners.
Oh. Since we were like staying, I assume we're staying roughly the same area, or we've moved. Did we ever find a dead crew?
Did I say you found one body or 2?
I don't remember.
One body,
One.
they made a quick cairn on the body.
Okay.
I remember one.
All right, never mind.
I know it was 1 or 2. I couldn't because I
It
knew
was
it
one
wasn't
body.
all 3. Okay.
It was one body, and you said that we were unable to identify which one it was.
Yeah.
From the clothing, but we could tell it was
Yeah,
one.
sorry.
Yeah.
Lafdul isn't gonna question it.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
he's
with,
still got various body parts that he needs to do something with. He's not
I-
taking the speak with dead
I feel
space.
like with proper warding and guards,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about them as long as we're
Yeah.
smart about it.
I think you're talking about weighing risk against risk. This isn't nothing against something.
Let's compromise then.
If we hang on to these 3, and we get stopped by ships that say they are the legal authority in this sphere, and that they demand that we hand over those people because we're holding them prisoner, and that we have no authority to do so, we'll end up in a situation where we'll be in a fight to protect 3 pirates who are murderers
Well,
in order to hang on
if,
to.
if these legal authorities of the sphere are getting in the way of having justice be served, then I think that's worth it. I follow my own code of ethics and the teachings of my god before the authority of any legal authority of the sphere I'm in.
Do you need to have them judged by a particular authority?
It has to
Or
be
would it-
either by my church or by an authority of good standing.
Well, who says that the authority, the people who come in the scenario that Braxon brought up, who says that they are not of proper legal standing? What would you do
Well,
then?
no, of good standing, I mean of honorable standing. I would not consider a group that would want us to release dangerous pirates to be one of good and honorable standing.
It didn't say it's release, but pass them over to them.
If they're willing to hold a trial for them and have us bear witness and serve justice, then in that case, I would be more willing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They might have radically different ways of doing things. They
I
might
mean-
say they've got the right to trial by combat, and that they can fight their way out of it, and then they
that's
will be
fair.
innocent.
If they have the right to trial by combat, then we will fight them through combat and
It'd be
take
one-on-one,
care of it that
though,
way.
most likely.
That's
So-
why I asked. That's why Leva asked Ockar, because how far would Ockar accept the local laws?
Real fast. I want to jump in here. Like, you guys could present a whole like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of what if scenarios, but you don't actually know anything about the legal authorities here. So number one, they're all hypothetical. You can get a kind of feel. It seems to me that Ockar is essentially saying that if he feels that they would carry out justice as he sees justice, in his own code of ethics, then he'd be okay turning them over. Is that correct,
Yeah,
Ockar?
that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you have a guideline now for if you encounter someone and they tell you what they would do to these guys when they tell you to turn them over, then you have a guideline already of how Ockar would react to that situation. So you
Yeah,
don't
but
need to start throwing out hypotheticals, especially
And
when
Solas,
you don't know what these people are like in this sphere.
yeah,
but
we don't have anything except we don't know anything except what races mostly are here and what those kobolds warned us off about, like the Fomorians.
Yeah, but the other problem we've got is that at least Red Njord has information that could compromise the safety of the Elven Navy. So handing him over to a legal authority that doesn't necessarily care for the Elven Navy could allow that information to fall into enemy hands.
Well,
Favor.
And
there
again,
was
you could do a situation where it's like, okay, we'll hand over Sard and Silithia, but we need to return this other guy to a specific group because they need to talk to him, kind of thing,
Yeah,
and see what
that's
they say.
I was just about to suggest. That he has sensitive information or something like that, and he needs to be taken to the specific other group.
Well, I think if we go down that path, I think we should just vote on it, because if we go down that path, it's a lot of extra work for us. It's extra risk for our crew, and it's extra mouths to feed.
Well, I already made my stance clear, so you know my vote.
If you are worried about the mouths to feed, Solas can take one create water and food spell every day and handle that.
That
There's some mushrooms down below. Have we ever tried harvesting
yeah,
them?
if Solas just creates food and water, then it won't cut into our personal supplies to keep them fed.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry about that.
I forgot. Finn, how much do they use when they are asleep?
None.
Okay, so we don't need additional food and water.
Well,
At
we
the
should
moment.
at least give the water at least sometime so they don't like
They're
die from
magically
dehydration.
The
magically
that keeps them
abated.
asleep. Yeah, the magic that keeps them asleep keeps them basically so that they don't lose any water or such.
They're effectively
Is it
frozen.
magic? I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
was
magic.
I thought it was like a poison or something.
It's
herbal
magic. It's magic.
Uh,
One thing, like you could always, I mean, there are other things that you can do. Finn isn't gonna have, he may not have access to this tea for perpetuity. If you can't get more ingredients, you might have to look at other things. They do get saving throws, which they made their first saving throws. Two of them failed their second saving throws, but Silithia is not under the effects of it right now.
so here's
It's
the
Sard
thought.
and Yord that are out right now.
Here's the thought. While those two are out, I think we should get to work putting up forth. But yeah, let's continue to vote. You know my vote, and I'm pretty sure we know what Sol's vote is.
Yeah, I support Ockar in this.
Yeah.
All right, Braxon.
Braxon votes to turn the two that Ockar didn't make an oath to into some sort of animal or harmless creature.
All right, Finn.
Finn is still mostly undecided, but he's not against the polymorph.
All right, Leva.
Leva is not against the polymorph either.
And Lafdul.
Funnily enough, I agree with Solas and Ockar. I'm with them.
Okay. Well, with Finn being undecided, that's like 3-2 and one abstaining.
Well, I mean, Leva was kind of used the same phrase as Finn, as not being opposed. So.
Oh right. Okay.
I mean, that's more of like
Right.
1 in favor, 3
3 to 1
against, and 2 kind of whatever.
Well, you see, Leva doesn't have very strong feelings towards either Red Njord or the other two. She thinks that as long as they are on board, they are a danger to all of us. And so she is quite happy to have that spell go for it. Except that we can't do it now anyway, because we have to first learn it. And
No
that's it.
guarantee.
Yeah.
You'll
She
even
doesn't
learn it.
care whether they are dead or alive, because all that speaks in their favor is Ockar saying he wants them alive. So she goes, okay, if you
Yeah, but
must.
that's same day time. We're supposed to care for what each of us think for our own goals, our own things. You know,
She
if
cares as
it's
much.
important to them, then we should respect that.
Yes, but to care for what's important for them doesn't mean I need to care for for that. It just means I support what they say. If they say I want them to be alive, then I say okay. It doesn't mean that I have to change my own opinion to be
That's
fully in
fair.
favor.
That's fair.
Mhm.
I'm not asking you to change your own opinion. I'm just saying that you respect our opinion as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not that he would get a vote, not that he's necessarily there when the discussion is happening, but if you talk to Linelius about, like, he's a member of the Elven Navy, but he doesn't have the authority to speak for them on how to handle them per se, because
Mhm.
he doesn't have orders, he hasn't had a chance to consult and anything like that. But in his view, while he would like all three of them turned over to the Elven Imperial Navy, Njord is the one he would want turned over the most. He's far less concerned about the other two.
Mhm.
So, but if you were ever talking about other things, he would be like, at least keep Njord around, take him to the Elven Navy. Because again, remember, Linelius needs to get back to the Elven Navy too. He wants to get back
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a goal to return to Elven Navy in any case, and also we have a somewhat goal to return to Greenness because Leva's personal quest was there.
Okay. So
At
it looks
some
like
point, yeah.
it looks like for now we're keeping
And a
three
bounty to collect.
potentials. It looks like for now we're keeping 3 potential saboteurs on board.
Hey,
We,
hey,
mu- we,
hey,
we
hey,
Yeah.
Braxton. If it turns out that I'm mistaken and this does end up screwing us over in the long run, then you could say that you told me so, and I'll try to listen to your side of things more closely.
No, that's fine. I'm saying we will proceed. We're going to have to use up some of our supplies of wood to build a jail, and
That's
there may be some other repercussions. We're going to have to allocate crew to look after them, which means less crew to do other things, less crew to help with ship repairs. So there'll be a downside to this.
If it helps at all, I was planning on shifting from my command role on my shift to being to personally guard them when it's my shift.
No, because you're more important as an officer. I mean, as much as you want to put your own thing in there, you're too valuable not to be in a position where you are.
Yeah,
we can have Marines looking after them.
Unfortunately, it is a grunt job. A grunt will do it.
so
Yeah, but
also,
you can
also,
you can supervise.
I want to point out that it's not that, in my opinion, as Dungeon Master, it's not that Ockar is ignoring the risk here.
No, I'm not saying he was.
I know the risk very
Yeah.
well.
But he thinks the
Yeah.
risk is worth it to
Yeah.
uphold his honor code, the laws that he wishes to obey, that he believes should be obeyed, that kind of thing. He
Yeah, that's fine.
he's going to think that it's worth the risk, and that it's the kind of thing that you should do. You should be taking those risks because it's the right thing to do, kind of thing.
Basically,
Well, I was
Solas is
I-
same opinion.
I hadn't quite finished what I was saying. I was just going to say to Ockar, we can go with this for now, and if we find this is causing a big threat to our crew, or if they start trying to escape, or if we have other problems, then we could revisit this later.
Yeah.
either way, Red Njord needs to live to be taken to justice. It is. it is important that he's taken back to the Elven Navy so that he can tell them what he knows.
Well,
He
I
is
will.
an important asset that can't just be killed off.
Well, if I will say that if he escapes and it's him or a crewman, I'm going to be less inclined to keep him alive than before.
Oh no, he puts someone in danger, he dies. Now, he
And
can't.
I'm not saying if he escapes, I will kill him. But
Well,
if he
yeah.
escapes and he's killed 4 crewmen and he's threatening to kill another one,
Then yeah, I can
Yeah,
agree
no,
with that.
I would
Yeah,
gut the guy.
Yeah.
I
no, no,
wouldn't.
no one is against if they try to escape and
Start killing people.
because when they try to escape, they are no longer considered surrendered.
Yeah.
Hey, Sunfire, could you get him to not kill?
No, that would be
No.
overbroad. That's way overbroad.
it's
Like you
worth
could
an
say
idea.
don't murder, but that's, specific situations kind of thing.
Could he basically have them not try to escape?
don't-
Only once they've tried to escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spell specifically forbids an action that they have previously taken.
Yeah, and it would also have to, and they also have to do something in return to make up for it. That has to be something that doesn't specifically benefit the spellcaster.
hang on. If this spell only works on things they've done before, then would that mean the spell could be used to stop him from conspiring against the Elven Imperial Navy?
I
Actually,
don't think
here's
he
a thought.
was. He wasn't now.
I think that
That's
might
just
be
coincidence.
and that might be overbroad and not specific enough.
What
Like
about what about this? If it's action
Wait,
that
Wait, I had a thought. Could we make him swear to never kill again?
no. You could get him
have to
to
murder.
you could get him to swear to never murder,
Yeah, never murder again.
but
But he could gold them into fighting him, then he gets free reign on killing someone.
yeah, and the thing is, like, if you attack a ship and you tell surrender and I won't harm you, and they don't surrender, you're not murdering them.
could we? I have a specific thing that he has done. Could we make him do an oath that he would not fight us?
Problem there is
He's already fought
the
us.
problem there is that it specifically benefits us, and the spell says that you can't do
Yeah.
actions that specifically only
that's-
benefit you.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think he's right.
Well, not harm the crew.
Well, the bottom line is that Red Newell didn't fight us. We came and attacked him.
Well, he still
The
fought us.
best I could think of is getting him to give up piracy altogether.
Yeah.
At the very least, at least partially, if he ever does escape, at the very least, he won't be doing piracy for at least a while.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we'll take him to the Navy, hopefully, in an ideal situation. He will still have that spell in effect on him, if, obviously, we go ahead with it.
Yeah, it's possibly worth doing that on. The spellcaster lady was dissolving people.
Yeah, I got a rather interesting memory from that.
That
perhaps-
spell requires components.
Perhaps we could see if the spell can stop her from experimenting on people or something.
No, she was just taking sadistic pleasure out of it.
Right.
Nothing more than that.
Yeah, but maybe we could stop her from doing that.
I mean, we are stopping
Spells.
by keeping her tied up and gagged.
No longer kill for the fun of it.
So, have we
Yeah.
decided what we're going to do? Keep them imprisoned?
We're
and,
keeping him, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think we
so
are for
Leva-
now.
Leva will cast an omen to see whether that how the close future will look like for that.
Okay. You get a neutral omen.
Neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Depends
It's not a
on
good
their
omen.
actions.
It's not a good omen. It's not a bad omen. It's just a neutral omen.
Could
Could be worse.
there is something I want to do with Solas? I mean, because considering you know engineering and maybe Braxon, because you're a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to cast a shape wood and vaguely or reinforce the room or something, to better restrain them, I might need your input onto what's best and what's not good.
Yeah. I'm
So
okay with
at some point before the end of my shift, I will go with those two and try to fashion something with my shape wood.
I'm okay with we had an empty room, didn't we?
Well, if we're number one, we've demounted the helms from the little ships. So if we're going to use the little ships to check out the port, we're going to have to refit the helms. We'll have to have a cell for them, or 3 cells maybe. We've got some wards on the ship, so where can we not take them?
Do you want me to move you guys over to the ship deck plan?
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be to change one of the 10 by 10 crew quarters on the lowest deck into...
On the reverse gravity plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could change one room into basically brick that has a few cages in it
3 cells.
or cells.
Like you could do 3 5x5 cells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would that take multiple
Put
castings?
put each one in their own cell and have a guard in there.
If we're going to do that on the quarter deck, and it's quite near the treasure room, but there you go. I would recommend we use the backmost room.
It's the closest to the stairs, isn't it?
Yeah, but the reason why I'm recommending the backmost room is there is one common wall with another crew quarters where they could possibly try to dig through the wall. If they try and dig through anywhere else, they'd be coming out the sides.
What are they going to dig with?
I don't think you can get through wooden walls with bare hands very easily.
And
They
it
might-
was so noticeable.
Maybe one of them has a spell or something that we don't know about.
Again, if we keep them their hands tied and mouths
Yes,
shut,
I
they
know,
can
I
just
know.
cast spells.
I know we're taking those precautions. I'm saying this can also be a precaution that we don't put them in a room like this one further forward, where they have 3 adjoining rooms that they could perhaps jump through the walls.
Yeah, but they'd be
They
just
had that
going to add a crew. Then that would start a commotion. If anything, I think that's more secure.
They are not really in good position to fight anyone that is armed.
I mean, if they are in that room and they start causing commotion, then people from this room comes out, people from this room comes out, then people from there, people from there, people from there, rather than them going straight up the stairs.
Yeah.
It takes them going past at least like 10 or more crew. They can't just bar it. Well, they can, but
And again, if we keep at least one guard there watching them
should be
constantly,
2.
I said at least one. They would. The chances of them escaping into another room through wall is quite low. At least without us knowing.
And I could periodically... Well, you could check the walls for damages periodically.
Yeah.
And we can also...
Reinforce it.
Yes, and there was that spell that allowed us to know if the target of the spell is in danger, so we could cast that on the guards.
Yeah, I can cast one, Finn can cast one, and you can cast one. So
Mm-hmm.
at least 3 guards on rotation, I would have it.
That would be good if you can use that spell.
We'd have to refresh it once a week, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that difficult spell.
Well, I mean,
Like
if it
Steve
lasts
Rose pencils.
if it lasts a week, then it's literally just the first day that you wouldn't have full coverage of both shifts.
Yeah.
You know, if you cast
I've
some
got
every
it
day
memorized.
until, you know, and then just periodically re-up it, you know, you'll be staggering it and you just recasting it every week on these people, and you could even get more than just, you know, the 4, you know, 2-on-2 kind of thing that you were doing before. You could rotate it up even more just in case, you know, they're trying to do some bribery or something like that.
And we do have enough marines and crew to make those rotations.
Right. So that I think that minimises that risk as much as we can.
And we can
unless we change our
also
mind or do something else. What are we going to do about the apparent invisible person that may or may not be with us?
All right. Well,
We
well.
just-
First of all, let's iron out this. So Lafdul suggested this room. Does that sound good? Does anyone object?
I don't object.
Okay.
I suggested another room, but I'll go with Lafdul.
Okay.
He's a sneaky person.
Oh,
I
I'm
trust-
not an expert in. I mean, you're running past people. That's my only thing.
I
Everyone's gonna hear.
I trust Lafdul as a man of a varied skill set who knows what he's doing.
Lafdul's trying his best to hold his composure or not laugh out loud at that.
All right. So
Look, I respect you, and I'm trying not to insult you. Does that help?
Lafdul,
Yes.
what? Real fast. You're thinking of using the Shape Wood spell to like reinforce and construct that.
I've only got one spell. Also, Finn can't cast Sacred Guardian. He doesn't have access to Guardian.
Okay.
So it's just me and Solas.
Right, but you could do 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and then like you could do one of each shift today, and then tomorrow the other ones, and then following days you could get more rotation. Let's see. Number 1, keep in mind that I think Shape Wood could be used to pull this stuff down once you no longer need them.
You could detach it from the walls, and
Right.
just take it out, I suppose.
And then it would be wood, and you can get the lumber back.
Oh,
Also,
wow.
Leva, do you have the 3rd level material spell? I vaguely recall you did, but I might be mistaken it from casting it from a scroll.
she just messaged me right back.
Oh, whoops. Okay. I'll ask her when she gets back. All right, so
Yeah, I do remember her doing something where she made something and you was talking about how long it would last.
Yeah, I'll ask her when she gets back. So, Lafdul, would you want to use the Shape Wood to make the walls and then have Braxon make the doors?
I could get the walls in first, yeah, because I don't think I can imagine.
You can use Shape Wood. You can use Shape Wood to make doors, but remember that they have moving parts and there's a chance to fail. Yeah.
It just means I'd have to recast it the next day to
Right.
make the door.
But
Until
Braxon,
it works.
Braxon is going to have spare hinges on board to repair
Alright.
doors that are broken during combat and stuff like that. So,
I mean, if I make the doors and they don't work, can't you just detach the door and then reattach the door, so to speak?
Depends. You might make the door not fitting.
No, I mean
Yeah.
it's like, because again, you're using the wood to make all the parts, and you'd still have to be, you know, cutting out pieces to get the hinges on and everything like that.
No, I mean, whatever's easier for Braxon. I mean, I'll just make the walls if he's alright making a door. I mean,
Well, if
I
push
could
comes,
reinforce the door afterwards, I suppose.
push comes to shove, we could borrow a door for a couple of days.
I mean, I could use another Shape Wood the next day to make a door, then you just apply the hinges to it.
Yeah.
And it could have like little slits or something so you can
Well,
see in.
it depends on how fast Ord says Braxon can make a door.
I think you could make a door, and I think you could get the 3 doors made in a day. I mean, they're just doors.
But there you go.
So
There you go.
Just need to hinges a block of wood.
So I think that I will allow you to use the one
And a
shape
handle.
wood to make the walls for that chamber, and then
Yeah, it's all I memorized.
the doors.
Just the one.
If you want to reinforce the chambers, that would be another probably 2 spells afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
That sound good?
I think we might want to do something with the outdoor to like bar that from the outside or something.
Put some
Yeah,
spears across it.
You could definitely set something up like that too.
Yeah.
We can also make a glyph for the door.
And priest lock.
Braxon will probably
Wizard
want to
lock.
make the doors so that they open outwards, so he
Oh,
can wedge
God.
the doors.
Yeah, no, you don't. You really do not want doors opening outwards on a ship.
You just
Yeah.
whack into a crewman or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Blocks a passageway.
Fair enough.
And we'll also add a whisper ward to the room that if any of them step out through the door into the corridor,
Would that
it'll
be
trigger.
anyone, or can you set that to specific people? Because you're going to have crew going in and out.
Such as when a certain individual enters an area
Okay. Yep. Nope.
or opens the warded closure.
Yep. That works.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want the GIF being inside and dwarf being outside, like this kind of thing?
Far enough.
I think it's good idea to have one inside and one outside,
That sounds
basically, and the one stationed outside is next to the door.
That sounds good.
So do you
That
want
way
do you want GIF inside or dwarf inside?
GIF or
GIF is a bit
non-magical?
big, isn't he? To fit in there, it's a tiny little area.
No, well, the GIF is non-magical,
So,
so if the spellcasters somehow manage to get a spell,
I mean,
or if they've got like a magic item stuck on their arm or something like magical tattoo or some weird thing.
Dwarves are pretty resistant to magic too, just
yeah,
not quite
they're
the same
both,
way.
Yeah.
They're
About
both
the
resistant to
same.
magic, man.
True.
Dwarf's also higher level.
Yeah. I'd put the dwarves inside.
The GIF out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's also more comfortable for the GIF to be outside, because I assume that's going to be like a tiny space with 3 cells.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
5x5.
The dwarves
so.
are better trained, so I just kind of see them doing a better job.
Don't let the GIF hear you say that. Okay, is that satisfactory?
Yeah, and we'll have
Yeah.
orders to the one that's outside that if anything happens, they're to get another crewman before opening that outer door.
You could probably
Yeah.
carve a slot in the door so that the one outside or anyone outside could look in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, if that give yells for alarm, I think there's a crewman basically every moment of the day in this
Yeah.
level. So
yeah.
if he yells alarm, I think there's going to be quite a lot.
No,
of...
I'm just saying that the orders are that they get a response from someone before they open that door.
Okay.
And we can have
Yeah.
people come along because they'll need comfort breaks and so on.
Yeah.
I think that hallway is quite often used.
I know, but they'll need breaks for eating and that sort of thing. So we'll have someone swap with one of them or something.
Well, we planned to have their guards on rotation on.
Yeah, we got
was it-
2 shifts, but we're not going to have them going for 12 hours without eating or drinking or anything.
That's fair.
Okay, let me just make a note. And you're going to maintain Sacred Guardians on the rotating guards.
Yeah.
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 Is when Sacred Guardian gets triggered, is that it's
We'll
gone,
never know.
or does it persist for the full week regardless of how many times they get
Yeah,
hit?
it just keeps. It can keep
persists.
triggering.
Okay, all right. I needed to know because if you get into a combat situation,
Mhm.
it's going to trigger. You're going to know that they're in that they're in danger because of the general
Yeah.
combat
Yeah.
situation, and I needed to know
In
if
a
that
way,
was gonna
that's
hit.
also. a
Well,
way
Yeah,
of
I needed I
waking
needed
you
to
up.
know if that was going to eliminate the spell or if the spell persists, but it doesn't. It persists. So thank you.
Yeah, and priest that is at least third level also receives a mental image of the endangered creature and the situation.
Okay.
And its duration is 1 day per level, so
Yeah.
it's 8 days for me.
Same. But I'm doing on. I think at least
Yeah.
8 guards between us if we're rotating them on a different
I
guard.
think even if the duration is 8 days, Solas is going to be casting it on a 7-day period rotation.
So we're only out 2. How do you want to do this? Because if you're only doing it on 7 guards, that means only 2 guards are ever going to have it. Old was indicating that we need to be refreshing this because we're mixing up the guards so they're not getting bribed, etc.
I mean 7-day rotation until I refresh it.
On an
Per-
individual,
Yeah, on
Oh, right,
on
yeah,
any
yeah, that's
specific
fair.
individual. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So basically, there's 1 day that
that's fine.
I refresh it 1 day early because I want to make sure that there's no basically
No gap.
moment that no gap in there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do the same as
Yeah.
All right. Any other things that you want to set up on your ship this day?
I'm
already mentioned
temporary
the-
healing potion.
We already mentioned that. Can we set up glyphs of warding today, or is that another day thing?
I have
It's
spare
another
incense if you want
day
them.
For me.
Okay.
I just got one question. Can we get them down into that room? Obviously, they're going to stay on the shuttle for now while that's being built. Can we get them down into that room? I'm looking at the symbols we've got. There's an S in what you're using as your laboratory on the lower cargo deck. Would that be activated by them going down the stairs?
I think it's not on the stairs.
Yeah, I know it's not on the stairs, but would it be activated by proximity?
No, you need to, since that S is for glyph of warding, if I'm not mistaken, you need to cross the glyph.
You need to
So
go
we've
inside
got another glyph that's written in front of the helm door.
You need to cross that.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as we take them straight down and they don't try anything stupid.
Yeah.
Well, if one of them makes a break for the helm room, tries to kill the helmsman, we'll
Two of
just-
them
Well,
are unconscious, essentially.
Yeah, so
So
we won't have
keep
trouble.
And the one is bound and gagged.
Yeah.
Contact Home Power was cast yesterday, so now it's on 6 out of 7 days because it's the next day.
Yeah.
Just update my notes, and obviously, yeah. it
Hang
was
on, did you say
5.
7 days? I thought that was 14 days.
What?
Contact home power, I thought it last 2 weeks.
No.
No,
It's a
it
week.
lasts only a week.
Oh, okay. Must be misremembering it.
I will on the first day I will have full complement of repair injuries to treat the crewmen, so we have as many as possible to ready to work as soon as possible.
I mean, I'm only taking 2 because I took town adventuring spells. I assume you're staying on the ship, so.
Yeah, but I want the crew to be able to work as soon as possible. So since
Yeah.
we were planning on reducing the risk as much as possible.
So did we go another day, Ald?
Yeah, you're gonna be
We
well.
went
So it's
another day?
you guys are spending most of the day memorizing the spells and then casting the spells and getting stuff working. I think while you're memorizing spells, Braxon is probably already preparing the doors, kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then Lafdul, he gets his spells and he casts Shape Wood, and you get the doors installed, and then you get the guys moved down there, that kind of thing.
Do I need to make a roll in case I make a window by mistake?
No, it's fine.
Leva has an idea about that.
Mhm.
We have one glassy spell and a permanency spell, so Leva could make a one-way window into the room.
That was a
Oh,
permanent
permanent.
brig. But we'd lose the brig. I mean, we would lose a crew memory.
What?
we would. It's a good
Well, hang
spell,
on.
but
Hang on. If we make a glass C on the door
Mhm.
can still be moved somewhere else later. We don't
I've-
lose the room. We can still put another door on the room.
We could, yes.
I do not think that's worth a permanency. That's it's your spell, obviously, but that spell's way too powerful for something mundane like this, just for pirates.
Yeah, permanence is really,
It's not for
really
pirates.
valuable spell.
It's not for pirates. It's for us.
Hang
If we
on.
have no way of looking into something, then we don't know what's happening
No, but
inside.
there were windows cut, little like
Yeah.
slots cut in the door to.
We're
look
not trying to
inside.
hold in a deity or something that would require such strong magic.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hang on,
okay.
but this is a good idea anyway.
Yeah.
I wonder, this glass sea, is this a one-way thing or a two-way thing?
That's up to the caster.
Would this be something, maybe now, maybe later, would this be something you could put inside the helm room so that our helmsman can see who's outside the door? Because I think with exactly the same thing you've just said, it would allow our helmsmen to protect themselves from being attacked.
Would it? In what
Well,
way?
If somebody knocks on the door and pretends to be one of us, and they look like an orc or something else, the helmsmen know
mean-
not to let them in.
Yeah, but the helmsman's never by themselves. They've always got guardians.
Yeah, but they have to open the
and-
door. They have to open the door
We-
to see who's outside.
We don't know if this is going to be our permanent ship. That magic is so rare and so powerful. I think it's being squandered
Is this a
on
one-off?
something trivial.
Is this a one-off ability?
Yeah, these are scrolls. She cannot
Mm.
cast this magic for
Ah,
a
right.
long time.
Yes.
And remember,
Well-
permanency is necessary for most magic items. So,
If you ever want to make a magic item,
and Leva is level 11 now. She can make magic items.
Mm-hmm.
And with that scroll, she doesn't have to risk paying the
cost.
constitution cost.
Oh, that's for a permanent spell effect on herself, not on an object.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a
If she
five.
wants
There's a 5% chance on
yeah.
Constitution
I was
loss when
going-
casting permanency on items.
Leva was going to offer for this. Let's restrict ourselves to this and not talk about all the possibilities where could you be used otherwise.
That's fair.
Okay, fair enough. It was a good idea.
But
We
again,
do have
like
enough
you can cut slots in doors. You can put in if you want some added protection. You can put in just regular glass.
Okay.
You know, if you don't want someone shooting a crossbow through it or something like that. There's a lot of mundane ways that you could do it. You don't need to use a permanency spell.
It's like when I arrived, goofily suggested that Red Nordgate gated to Asgard. It's like, yeah, it would solve the problem, but do you really want to use such powerful magic to solve the problem?
It only solves part of the problem.
I mean, it's no longer something you have to deal with.
Yeah, but then it becomes a problem for the gods to deal with, and also
They're gods.
we'll also get in trouble with the Elven Navy.
Not really. The gods
They
have dealt
might
with
not
it.
be. I mean, like you wouldn't get in trouble with them, but they would not be pleased. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Also, Lafdul, do remember that even if they are gods, they are not omnipotent and omniscient.
I mean, you could gate Njord to Asgard and send him to Tyr to deal with, to punish. That's a choice you
Use
could
a
make. I'm not
just
necessarily
god.
saying it's a great choice, but it is a choice you could make.
That would probably be our
But
choice.
Leva-
That would probably be the choice if we end up with absolutely no option.
Well,
Could
hang
Leva
on.
teleport him? Could Leva teleport him to, let's say, our office in Brawl, and then just
You can't teleport between spheres.
Huh?
You can't
I'm sorry?
You can't teleport between spheres.
Oh yes, okay.
I think I could gate between spheres, though.
Yeah, there are other
Can I?
ways that you could get between spheres, but teleport won't do it.
Yeah, you can teleport out into the Phlogiston and then to Brawl, I think. To the Brawl sphere.
You'd
teleport
probably
through a
have to
gate,
do.
can't you?
You'd probably have to teleport from the sphere you're in out into the Phlogiston, and then near. Like, it would probably take another step in between to get near the specific crystal sphere.
She has 4 slots now, so she could memorize 4 teleports.
But
Free.
You need to always memorize a
Oh
wild
yes,
magic spell at every level.
3. Sorry, 3.
but there's a problem that you've never seen the outside of this sphere, so you don't know how to get there.
Yeah, she
Well,
needs to study the
Well, no, I mean there is a very unfamiliar choice.
I mean, you just go
And then
up
she
or down in the
teleports her-
flow.
And then she teleports herself into the sphere wall and dies.
To just be below a known. Oh, could you vaguely teleport to a portal? That would be a destination.
Wouldn't she need to know where it is?
You'd have to know
Yeah, if
where it
she
is.
knew if where one was.
You'd have to know where it was.
And also, what would she do then? Then she'd just be floating in Wildspace.
She'd cast fly through the portal, have like air sphere so she doesn't suffocate, then teleport to Bro.
No, you can't teleport to Brow from the Phlogiston.
No, she goes through the portal with fly and air sphere on her.
All right. So, is there anything else that anyone wants to get done this day?
Yes, I wanted to. Well, it's more of a. I'm making a mention to Finn. I don't know how busy. Are you particularly busy past your spell memorization, Finn?
Not overly.
Are you up for? Well, I can only infer. I can't do it myself because I've got to spend a lot of time training. There's some mushrooms down there. I mean, could we eat them? Could you figure out the mushrooms to see if they're useful for like healing or herbalism or eating or
I already looked at that.
Oh, they're just edible.
Some
Nothing
of them.
else.
Some were
Some of
poisonous
them you
and-
really wouldn't want to eat.
Really? That's piqued my interest more than the. No, I
That
don't.
doesn't necessarily mean they're deadly. It just might
No,
cause
it just
you,
might give them
some
runs or
serious
something.
stomach problems.
That in itself could be useful.
Actually, Finn, real quick, did Whisper Ward say an individual or individuals?
Give me a second. I'll have to look it back up
Okay.
again.
Because if it says an individual, you'd probably have to cast 3 of them on the door. And you could do that over a course of a couple days, kind of thing.
Let's see here. Character keys the
Individual.
word to become activated under specific conditions, such as when a certain individual enters the area or opens the warded closure. When the ward is triggered, soft whispering breeze blows across the caster's face. Caster must stay within 1 mile per experience level of the ward to receive the warning.
Also, that would not
Once you-
cross the void of space, keep in mind.
Yeah, once you leave
Yep.
the ship.
I think that's vague enough that you could specify multiple individuals. So yeah, just one casting.
Yeah, technically it's cast on an item, portal, or closure. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the restrictions on what triggers it. So, but
Well,
I think you could specify multiple people with that phrasing.
If you wanted a nickel and dime it, there's 3 doors.
In each of the cells, there's door.
yeah, but then there's 1 door out into the corridor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's what he was going for.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you might want to spend another day, or
Yeah.
another night here, just to get spells. Now, I do want to remind you that you had one encounter with locals already, and you had difficult talking to them. might be something to consider when thinking about spells to take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I took a tongue spell.
Okay.
I don't know about... Yeah, but it only lasts 10 minutes.
There's one more thing we were talking about last time, and that is ascending. That ascending is okay, but Leva needs more cylinders and copper wire. Fine copper wire, please.
Maybe we could see if we could get that in port.
Do we
I
have any? Don't we have anything that we could use already? Like Ockar, couldn't you, for example, make these cylinders, metal cylinders, very small one?
Do you think I could make those?
You kind of lack a forge.
Yeah, we don't have a forge on the ship.
Could we not beat out?
Does that have to be metal?
Well, hang on. It's a copper wire into are the things copper as well.
It's just the cylinders.
If it's
So
the cylinders,
metal cylinders and very fine copper wire.
How big or small do the metal cylinders need to be?
Small.
Small. How small? Did you say?
finger, probably.
Small.
It
No, I'm
doesn't
just
say.
saying. Does it specify?
It doesn't specify, I don't believe.
Right.
No.
Well, if we had any sort of copper sheeting, which I'm not saying we have,
You definitely
could
don't.
we? Right.
I do have copper wire because I have it in another spell component. This is for detect spirit spell. It's an amulet wrapped in copper wire, but it's not fine copper wire, just as copper wire.
That
I
would
mean, I could
probably
give
be
that up.
probably be fine enough, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to
Which do you need
Cylinders
the
must be
cylinders?
tiny. The
Right.
cylinders must be tiny.
So what I was going to say about the cylinders is I believe that Ockar might have panel beating type tools for like if somebody's hit the side of someone's armor with a mace to knock out the dents. And it might be possible if someone's got a sheet of metal to
Okay.
bang that
Yes.
over and try and make a cylinder.
We have to. One end has to be open. The other one has to be closed. It's
Right.
implied, but I think it does.
Yeah, because as I've pointed out before, many spells have components based on real-world things. Like one of the Big B spells has they're brass knuckles. It's not specifically said that they're brass knuckles, but if you read the description, they're brass knuckles, and that is, of course, the two cans connected by string to play telephone with.
Okay, well, what I'm getting at is that I think people make tin cans without molten metal. I think they get sheets of metal and then they stamp them out.
You could bang it, but
you
it'd be
need to have,
crude.
but you need to have sheets of metal.
Right. Does anyone
know-
know if they have sheets of metal?
Sheets.
Then actually
no.
need, I just reading this, we are misinterpreting it. It's two tiny cylinders. It doesn't say metal cylinders.
Could
Oh, then we could use some wood to
Yeah.
just diddle out some small cylinders.
Yes.
Yeah.
actually, this is a silly question, because you're a wild mage, couldn't you just reckless dwemer it without the spell components?
Yes. Do you want me
Why?
to try?
No, I'm just saying, you're a wild mage. You never use the spell.
Yeah.
Well,
I really rarely uses wild.
If we
If
want
you
to
want, I can use it more often. Yes.
No. I'm just
do
saying.
that.
I'm asking you, why do you not? Is this not what your character is all about? The chance of breaking the laws of how the world works.
well, hang on.
It has used other Leva uses quite a few, but just not Dumas.
I mean,
She's used. They are not there a few times.
have you got the improved Chaos Shield or the regular Chaos Shield? I don't know if you get improved one.
No, that's a
Yeah,
Baldur's
higher.
Gate thing.
I just think it'd be kind of fun to see you using Reckless Jerome a bit more, but that's that character.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
I mean,
can do
it
that.
is so
The problem that
disastrous, but
you
it's
see,
funny.
the problem I can see is it's always fun in
addiction.
theory. If you are the one affected by, let's say, losing your clothes or getting your hair
Yeah.
grown, then it's a bit different.
or
Or if
being
you-
made older,
Oh, you're a poor boy. Yes.
So basically, Leva is all for the wild charges as long as they affect Braxon.
Yeah, but you
No,
just...
no. It's quite fine. I get Ockar being affected as well. It will not hurt.
Hang on,
Try to
Leva,
do.
Go on.
If we want to try to do the reckless rearmor to do the sending, we might want to do that out on the deck in case something happens.
Yeah.
Not even on the ship.
You could,
Can
yeah,
I
you could
just
always
say-
go down to the surface.
Can I just say one thing? Leva, did you say this would work with wooden cylinders? Did they have to be metal?
They don't have to be metal. They have 2 tiny cylinders. They have to be tiny.
Right. Well, that's why I was
But-
asking
but-
about the size. Well, then
Yep.
maybe Braxon can try to make 2 cylinders.
Well, you just get a piece of wood and you've got like a hand drill, haven't you? Can you like drill out and then just
Yeah.
chisel the inside to
Would
make
that
it
work?
smooth?
Well, I'm sure.
And look outside so it looks cylinder.
I will
Oh,
require
please.
you to make a carpentry check if you want to try it,
Yeah.
because you're making something that isn't for a ship,
It's a,
and
Yeah.
you don't know if you're going to get it right for the spell.
yeah.
If you had
And who is
spellcraft, you could roll that in.
who is going to make the copper wire? Very fine.
I can just
fine.
give you my amulet, which is it means I won't be able to cast a spell anymore, but it's
Well-
a 20 gold piece worth of copper wire.
Can I try to? Can I
That's-
try to use my armor ability, my armor skill to try to make the wire?
No, because you have to
Okay.
draw. You have to draw metal to make wire. That
Yeah.
requires heat and everything.
Old
Right.
told us that if you have the jewelry proficiency, then you could make fine copper
Oh yeah,
wire.
I can make a lot of things once I get my workshop.
Still need a
But
forge and a
yeah, you
workshop.
need. I mean, you need a workshop. Yeah,
Yeah, you
And-
melt
I'm
down
on
the
Brawl.
metal.
and that would
Do
require.
something.
And Lafdul already said that he has amulet made of copper wire.
Yeah, you,
Okay.
Yeah,
you
it's
can.
for the detect spirit spell.
Okay,
Now- I can
Braxon.
strip
Real,
that
real
now.
fast, real fast.
Yeah.
Braxon, you can go ahead and roll the carpentry check. Lafdul, the
Ooh.
That's good.
the amulet. Can you give me the
This-
description again? Small pendant of copper wire worth at least 20 gold. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
I will say that will use up all of that wire.
Alright, yeah, I mean, I was writing off the spell from
Okay.
being able to cast it anyway until I get a replacement.
okay, my normal target for carpentry spell jamming, because I don't have normal carpentry, is 16. So that's plus or minus any modifiers you've got.
That's a success.
That's a success. All right, Leva, you have 2 wooden cylinders connected by a copper wire.
Wow. Thank you, guys. Now what? Now
Wait, before
who
you,
must-
before you even do it, I'm going to do an augury just just for the hell of it.
Okay.
No, obviously that'll be when you do it. So
Augury about the sending.
yeah, to see if any. So I can predict. Actually, no. Will there be dangerous? Will there be any?
Will there be
Danger
any
from
danger from
attempting
casting?
this.
Okay. What
I
is your
guess.
percentage?
78.
The augury returns the answer that no, there will be no danger.
Hmm. Seems like a good augury as long as you do it within half an hour.
She does in 31 minutes, and we all die.
Yeah, well.
All right, so you're casting the sending
we have to decide on what to send.
and who you're
I
contacting.
mean,
Yeah.
yes, those 2 things.
There's a failure going through multiple spheres. though,
well,
isn't there?
Which
We
group did we have? Which group did we send to sell the stuff again?
The
they're
wizard
they're
on
both
the Star Knights.
they're both taking some stuff, but they were both going to reorcs.
Okay, I think we should probably.
The wizard from the Star Knights you've contacted multiple times though.
I would say we start with something like Taken by Cosmic Storm.
Yeah,
Yeah, my guess will be the Star Knights, because they're definitely staying in the sphere.
caught by cosmic storm. What's the name of the sphere we're in again? Oh, you
Thorn.
told me before.
Chthon space.
Currently stuck in
Thorn
Thorn
space.
space.
Chthon
Thorn.
space. Chthon. I'll type it out for you.
Okay.
Cargo barge left behind.
Oh, right. I think you wrote that before, and I sort of read it as Cthulhu
Yes.
space. And then a giant tentacle at me. Yeah, so we need to tell them. We need to tell them that the elven weapons were lost in Wildspace.
We should also mention that we were attacked and
Yeah,
then sucked by cosmic storm.
yeah.
Give me a second, I'm typing up a message.
Yeah, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be 25 words.
Up to, yeah.
And we want them to advise the elves, don't we? So that's going to be something like, please advise elves. And they will take that as the Elven Navy. They won't just go find Mr. Elf walking down the road. Hey, you're an elf. You're do.
Mr. Elf, and it's not actually elf, it's just person
Yeah.
named Elf.
That's what I wrote.
Yeah, it's an orc called Mr. Elf.
You might want to add, if possible, that we were attacked before taken by the cosmic storm.
Yeah.
Lafdul, there's too much noise around the message.
Give me a second.
Yes.
Yeah, taken by cosmic storm once you left. That's 3 words that are not necessary.
You can
Yeah.
see what
I didn't see
Ockar's.
it.
You can also see what Ockar's got. He's working on something.
I have
Can't
20.
see that yet.
I have 23 words, but
You could post it now and refine it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also note, like, what you want to make sure gets in the message, too.
That's the question I had. How long
Okay.
is the responding quote window, unquote?
here's the one I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much instantaneous for them to... I mean, as soon as they respond. Oh, how long can they take?
Yes.
think-
Really just a few minutes.
I think Okkar's is good.
Well, the same thing. It has too many. It has too many fill words. The caught in cosmic storm.
Is there anything else to add to it that...
And it's under the word limit.
It is under the word limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's my version.
The one I wrote is I had to actually edit a bit. It's currently 22 words, so it could fit 3 more words into mine.
Yeah, so again, it's like, but the only reason to worry about that is if there's more stuff that you want to actually put in. Is there anything else that you'd want to
Yeah.
put in?
Yes. Lever would want to put in that tomorrow more.
Okay.
That still
Let them
fits
know
in the-
that tomorrow, that next day, we will contact them again.
Okay, before you
That's
do
more
that,
stuff.
before you
We'll
do that,
contact again.
Hang on, we don't have any more wire.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can go to port and find some.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but we can't promise to contact them until we've found wire.
Okay.
So you could say more soon,
We'll
And
try
that
to
kinda-
update.
or yeah.
More in future.
Yeah, we'll try to
Yeah.
update.
Okay. It's all about
Did,
the
did,
same.
did we learn if he has a spell?
Yes, they've casted it back.
Yeah.
Can you ring us back
Please ring RSVP.
out of components? Just try to mention that in the end.
Nah, none.
So again, copper wire is not going to be hard to find unless this port that you've
Doesn't have a
heard about
smithy.
is like Stone Age. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
copper wire
Mhm.
is
It's the easiest metal to come across.
I mean wire is harder to make than just pounding cooled copper into a shape kind of thing.
Mm.
But there's most likely workshops that can do it on order.
Yeah. So there's a pretty good chance that you could get this. You can probably just buy, like go to a shop that does some stuff like this and say, I need X number of this. This is the specifications. Can you make it? Okay, yeah.
Or
It's
you
going to
can
cost this much for each one.
And take this amount of time.
Yes. Okay. So contact soon.
So, are we using my message or Braxton's message or Latzel's message?
I think.
They're all-
I think.
they're-
I've
all about
updated mine slightly.
They all say about the same, so it doesn't really matter which one we take.
Well, mine says about any connecting spheres because they might happen to know this sphere.
Now in Knonsen about yeah, please retrieve. Yes,
Yes.
I actually agree. Lafdul's,
Yeah, let's go with Lafdul's.
it's best.
Hang on, how many words is this? 1, 2, 3.
The only thing I'd say about your last bit, any connecting spheres.
I would actually take your first message. I didn't see the
I
second
got
one.
2 words left.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about that is do they know how we get home? Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
genuine
but it
question.
doesn't. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the message. I'm not saying we shouldn't include it.
Well, it's in that any connecting spheres basically implies that do they know which sphere we are and how to get back.
Yeah, because of the cosmic storm.
But if you're also gonna
In
if you're
Cthulhu
also
space.
gonna get in touch with them later, then because
We
again,
don't
you need to keep in mind what you want back from them too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Old.
Yep.
Let's take Lafdul's message.
Well, right what Finn's
Cross
writing.
out the now. That's there now in cron stage because because that's just the now because I think that it's clear that we are now there, and add contact soon. We'll contact soon. Yes.
Well,
It's at 38.
and
23
add
anyway.
exchange the.
I don't think it's bad to let them know we've been teleported to Cthulhu space.
Yeah,
we need
That's
help
what's wrong with
coming.
that.
We need an escape route.
yeah.
Right,
what
but
Finn said with
again, the question is like, if your plan is to also talk to them later, you can ask later. Like you haven't even been to a port that may give you that information, may not.
Yeah.
I have one thing that I would like to actually have add to that.
Okay.
If they could also instead, we don't need the possibility mention the Cthulhu space, but we at the moment, but we could add that they would contact the Octave Arcane and let them also know of the situations and if they can come up with basically in such way that if they Octave Arcane also might be able to provide us information or assistance.
We won't fit that into one message.
No, but it
No,
might
it's
be
a
a...
good idea.
Not the whole thing, but the thing that they would contact Octave Arcane.
I think that would be on their own initiative rather than us,
Yeah.
because they've just been on a mission. They're both heading to the same port. The odds are they'll be at the port at the same time.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure they're both at Reorx right now.
All right. Did you see the
They
message?
Probably would have just gotten there.
If
I
we
think
can ask them to warn
that's what Lever wants to send.
Okay.
All right. Well, ultimately, it's Levalithana sending it.
Okay. So, Leva, you wanted to go with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could have please retrieve and return. Yeah, all right.
She has
Sorry,
that.
never
She
mind.
has that in there. Okay, so you cast a spell, and
There's a failure chance.
There's
I
a
think it's like
5%.
5% for every...
it's basically my determination. It really
Well,
it
yeah.
really is specific. Like even for other planes, it's specifically left up to the dungeon master.
Oh yeah.
That-
It's however you want to do it, but
And don't
I wasn't
forget
sure if you're.
level variation.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, I don't think level I mean, yeah, it's only going to matter for.
It might be weaker than it should.
But there's no weakness to it. It's just a chance of whether it surges.
Spell
Exactly.
half duration, half words,
No,
Half
because there's no duration. There's no
half effectiveness.
but there's no half effectiveness. It's only a wild. There might be with a wild surge, but the level variation doesn't actually matter because it doesn't matter what level you are when you cast a spell. It's always the same.
I know what's going to happen now. We're going to find out if it works after the
The
break.
recipient's dead.
Not yet. I'm actually going to tell you. You do get a response. You do get a
Wow.
response. And they basically say, at Reorx, will return to Kislev, search for Barge, and alert elves. Never heard of Sphere.
Right.
So Lever passes this on to the others.
Thank
At
you.
least we're in the same time period because he's not like, oh, so many years later. You haven't spoken to us for 3 years.
Yeah, that,
Well, we were pretty certain that we didn't
Fall
travel
through
through
time.
You were hoping.
Yeah, well, this has at least confirmed it.
So
it's been
with
20 years.
with that information, we are going to take our break and give the party some time to think about how they want to proceed.
Finally leave.
how are we going to hunt for an invisible person?
Yeah.
I think Leva has a plan for that already. So we'll
Okay.
be back in about 10 minutes, everyone. Good time to get a drink or use the restroom or something like that, and we'll be back shortly.